Hello everyone, my name is Wendy Zimmer, and I want to thank you all so very much one more time for agreeing to participate in the study that I am doing on learning and recognizing teachers' digital learning identity. There is so much to learn and grow in this area, and I appreciate the input that you're going to be giving along this process, and just everything that this research entails could not be done without your support and your participation. So thank you. For the first activity that we're going to be looking at, I just wanted to quickly go over the goal setting, because I wanted to make sure that we're on a really good footing when we start this research, and if there's any questions, you at least have a face to go with the name and the emails that you have been getting. So what I have on the screen in front of you is a draft or a fake goal setting sheet. I sent each one of you your own, and what it entails is just all 6 sections of the survey and how they're divided up, and then the scores you received from your initial survey that you took. And as I mentioned in the email, this is just a baseline. It doesn't mean anything. This is just where you are now. It's not where you're supposed to be. There's nowhere you're supposed to be. It's not where you should be. It is where you are now and the place that you will start moving forward. And so what this next step is taking time to set goals for your learning through this study. Because a lot of times we don't take time to reflect and think about where we want to grow or areas that we want to increase. And research shows that when it comes to learning, setting goals will really help you in attaining whatever it is that you want to achieve. Same thing if you think of like exercise or eating healthy or all those things we often don't have time to do as teachers. But if you set goals, then you're more likely to work toward those goals and achieve those goals. And I know you already know this from working with students and having them set goals for themselves and their learning. So when you're setting goals, there's 2 things you can look at. The first are obviously your scores. And you can start with the area that you received the lowest score, if that's an area that interests you, but you don't have to. For goal setting, I'm asking that you pick 1 to 2 areas, and that's it. Now, oftentimes when we set goals for ourselves, we have these huge, broad, lofty goals, and that is not the best approach. What is best is if you pick 1 to 2 areas that you can really focus on and internalize, and then you will see that it's easier to attain those goals. So, looking at your scores, and then if you scroll down on your sheet, there's also this piece here, which has the same 6 sections, the same description of each section, but I included a piece that kind of tells you why you would pick that section as a goal. So like, for example, if you're looking at section A, which is attitudes, it says choose this section if you want to change your attitude regarding using technology for higher purposes of learning. Or like section E, kinds of technological resources. Choose this section if you want to learn more about using technology to learn challenging material. So just take a moment, either right now or after this video is over, and pick 1 to 2 areas where you would like to increase or grow the most regarding your own personal digital learning identity. Not what you want to teach, but for yourself. And then once you choose those 1 to 2 areas, I want you to set some goals. So let's say I pick section A on attitude, because that score is not my lowest, but it's something that I know I need to work on. And I'll pick my lowest score on efficacy. And so I'm going to go to my goal block, and I'm going to use bullet points because it makes my life easier. You don't have to. But you can pick more than 1 goal, or you can just have 1 goal in this area. And when you're planning goals or setting goals, think about operationalizing it. Having something you can actually measure. So I'm not just going to say, I'm going to increase this area, or I want to grow in this area. That's hard to measure. How will you know if you grew in that area? Or you could say, increase, and if you don't want to use complete sentences, totally fine. Increase by 10%. Because that lets me know I have 14 points that I'm playing with here, and I would like to increase by 10%. Or I might say something like, grow in this area by 6. Let's be optimistic. At least 6 points. So have at least one goal in your 1 to 2 sections that is something you can operationalize. So again, if I went to this other section, put my bullet point because I'm a little OCD like that. And then so technological efficacy, maybe this one, I have much more area to grow, but I'm also, I find this very, very important and something I really am going to focus on improving. So in this case, then I will say increase by 15% because I want to see more growth in this area. And so after you set your goals, again, something you can operationalize, something you can measure, then I'm asking you to have action items to achieve these goals. So how are you going to do this? And it may be as simple as read Wendy's emails or participate in this study. Okay? And if that's it, then that's it. And that's all you're committing to. And that's great because that's a huge step in the right direction. Or you may have more things in mind because maybe this is something you're already working on, something you're already thinking about. So you could have these things and your 2 areas could have the same action items. They could have different. It depends on what you're thinking. But it may be, read that tech book on my shelf because you got one, someone gave you one, you were in professional development, maybe you had one in college and you're like, that book that I never take time to read part of it. Or read part of that tech book. Or maybe Google resources for technological, ooh, that's not a word, technological efficacy. And I'm going to change that for increasing, because you're going to find some resources on your own in addition to whatever it is that I am going to provide for you through our professional development work. Or you may be thinking something else, like talk to Mark, because Mark Engstrom is a great tech resource on your campus. Talk to Mark about what he uses. And there you go. So 1 to 2 areas to improve, at least, or grow and strengthen. At least one goal in each of those areas, and then at least one action item to achieve each goal. And that's it. That's it for our first week. Save this document, upload it into our shared Google Drive folder that I sent each one of you, and then that is it. And I will be in contact with you next week to start our next step in this study. So again, thank you very much. I'm excited for everything that we're going to be doing. Please email me anytime you need anything. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.